All right, today we are going to create a clay mug. So the first thing we have to do is get our slab out of our bag. So you're gonna undo the twist tie. You should already have your little name tag. You're gonna put the name tag on here, fold this over and just put it off to the side. That way you don't lose the name tag or the twist tie. Open up your bag. You're gonna put your hand all the way down to the bottom of it. Yes, you are gonna get clay on you. You will be okay. You're going to flip it over onto your arm and peel back the clay bag so that you can just flip and put the slab right on the tabletop. If you have really jagged edges, you're going to want to kind of smooth them out so it makes a nice straight line, but mine looks pretty good on either side. The next thing you need to do is take your sharp tools. I'm at table 5, so I have the blue ones. I'm going to take my sharp tools and I'm going to score along either short end. So I'm going to look at my slab and I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to make little scratch marks all along here. These scratch marks are like teeth of a zipper. They're going to interlock together when we put our clay pieces together to combine them, because otherwise our clay is going to try to come back apart, because clay does not like to be added to other things of clay. It likes to stay separate. So we have to kind of rough up the edges to make them reconnect to other pieces. You have to always score and slip anytime you put two pieces of clay together. Otherwise, parts of your design are going to come popping off your project. So now that I have score marks on either end, I'm going to take my slip, it's this brown bucket right over here, give it a little stir before you use it. You do not need to stick your entire hand in the bucket. That is not a thing we do. Just one little finger, and only on one end, you're just going to pat some marks, or pat onto your marks. You can then wipe your finger off on the tablecloth. That's what it's there for. Well, actually, it's there to protect the table, but it can be used for that too. Okay, now you're going to stand your slab up, and you're going to really press these pieces together. Give them a little smush and wiggle. Flip it upside down to get the other half, like so. You're next going to need a rib tool. We have both wooden rib tools and metal rib tools. I suggest by starting out with the wooden rib tool, it tends to be a little bit more user-friendly and less likely to cut into your project. So take the wooden rib tool, 4 fingers on one side, thumb on the other. You're using the curved end. And you're just going to kind of scrape across that seam that we just made. And again, I'm not putting a ton of pressure, but I do have my hand inside here to help push out. So this hand is pushing out while this hand pushes in so that my clay doesn't move back and forth. And I don't get a big divot when I don't have this thing getting really stretched out. I'm going to flip it upside down so that I can do this part again. It's okay if this looks a little rough and Frankenstein-y at first. We're going to smooth it all out with this rib tool. Okay, once you've done the outside, you're now going to put your hand on this side and use your rib tool on the inside to also smooth this side of the seam too. It's important to smooth both sides of the seam whenever possible. And again, flip it over when I'm ready to do the other side. All right, and now I have a lovely tube shape. I can kind of cup that and reshape that into my circle if I've gotten a little wonky. You want to try to be careful not to pull out on the top or the bottom edges. You always want to be pushing in to make sure you don't start ripping. You'll get cracks on this edge here if you're pulling out too much. So this is a good start. Now we have to make a base. To make a base, you're going to get another slab of clay, and then you're going to put your cylinder tube on top of it, and then you can just trace so that you know exactly how big your base needs to be. Use your sharp tool again, doesn't matter which end. Trace around the tube, take the tube off, and then you're going to cut it all the way out. You can take the rest of this clay, just kind of ball it up, leave it in your bag. This can be what you make your handle or your figure or your facial features out of, so save that off to the side. We then need to score up these edges here. All the way around, just a nice little circle, just like that. And then I need to also score on the bottom of here, all the way around where the two pieces of clay are going to meet each other. And again, I only add slip to one side of it. And then I can put my two pieces together. Again, give them a nice little smush, wiggle them together so they really stay. Can also Kind of go like this, and then when you're doing this blending, you can either use your finger to kind of blend across this seam here, or you can use the rib tool to blend across this seam. I find the rib tool goes a little bit faster, but if you're a little nervous, it's okay to use your finger and go slow. Blending, blending. Let's see, blend over here too. Again, it's okay if these seams look a little rough to start with. We're gonna smooth everything out. Now, just like before, we want to try to smooth on the other side of this seam as well. To do that, we're going to actually get one of our blending tools. Try to pick one that has like a nice little curve on the end of it. And then again, putting your hand here to support, you're just going to go smooshing all the way around that seam. All the way around. It's hard to show you guys all the way in there. I don't know if there's enough light, but you can kind of see at the bottom there, there's a little seam where the two pieces meet, and now it's been smushed around. Okay. Now some of you are going to be panicking because you're going to have these weird little blumpy bits, and it's going to be like sinking, and you're like, oh my god, my project's dying. It's not. Don't panic. This is where you start taking your hands and cupping them, literally just going around. Wherever it's bulging out, give it a little squeeze, just mush in its little belly. If it's sinking in, press from the inside. And you can see you get your lovely little cylinder shape here. That will be ready to have a handle. Again, if you have big bumps, use the rib tool. You can smooth across them to smooth out your whole project. And now you're ready to start making a handle. So we're going to put this off to the side, and we're going to talk about handles. Now a handle could be as simple as a slab that you cut out into the shape that you'd like. You can attach it. Now you don't want to attach it, just stick the end of the slab to the end of your mug, because that's going to be real easy to just go pop, I'm done. So you want to actually fold this over a little bit so it has more surface area to actually touch onto. And again, I have to score on here and score on here. You can also take a lump of clay, kind of squeeze it in your hand until it makes like a tube, roll it back and forth. On your tabletop, you can actually move this clay cover. You're gonna roll this out. You wanna keep your fingers starting together, curve back a little bit, like this is like your rolling pin. You're gonna use this part of your hand. If you're having trouble keeping control of your coil, you can use this part of your hand, but you're only using 1/2 at a time. And you're gonna roll these out. As it gets longer, you're gonna want to spread your fingers out a little bit more. And you're gonna wanna keep this coil a little bit thicker than other coils, because this one is, you wanna actually have a hefty enough handle to really pick it up by. So again, this is gonna be way longer than what I need, but I can fold it over here, and I can just pinch off the part that I don't need. Okay, I'm not gonna actually connect this right now, because if I did, it would be too heavy and it would start stretching the top of the mug and trying to collapse on me. So you can billet your handle, but you cannot attach it on day one. This you just put back inside your bag and put away for the day. If you have more time at the end of the workday, you can take the rest of like all of your extra clay that you have from when you cut out your base, and you can start making your eyes and your nose, your mouth, whatever else you designed on your clay plan. And that's the basics of how to make a clay mug.